Make them smaller, Josh.
Oh,
I didn't want our faces right in the cameras, so I pulled us back a little bit.
yeah,
And
I like that. Otherwise, I'm right in people's faces like I'm coming out of the screen. So,
yeah, I don't like that either. And I'm talking to you. No, seriously, everybody, thank you for joining us today. coreSTORE update live.
live. Yeah.
Episode 6. I was trying to figure out what episode because we skipped a week, so now Core Force and coreSTORE are kind of off a little
Yeah,
bit.
we're one behind. We're one behind, and I know next week we're gonna release another coreSTORE update. It looks like on Tuesday. So, and I know we're waiting until the beginning of June for coreForce. So we might have some more update notes next week for coreSTORE while we're doing our webinar there. All
There you
right.
go. I say we do like 4 or 5 of them in 1 week so we can get ahead of Core Force. That's not
I'll get
stressful at all,
I'll
is it?
I'll get the devs cracking. I'll only have to read through 120 update notes on.
There you go. That's nothing. Hey, so everybody, as you know, Colt is not here with us. He's actually on the road. He's driving somewhere. No idea. When I sent him the link for this, he's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I forgot. I'm on the road." I'm like, "How convenient." I'm gonna go get on the road too. So it's
I
just
think
gonna
that's what
be
I used the last few weeks.
yeah. So it's just gonna be Okie. And I'll be here for comedic relief, but we'll get to your questions. So just throw your questions in the chat, and Okie's going to go over, the stuff that's changed, the new features, the stuff you have to go through right now, and then we'll get to your questions. So we're not. It's just really hard. If you guys were at my last webinar, which was the AI webinar, you know that I was. Okie wasn't at that one. Thanks a lot,
Yeah,
Okie.
that was. I'm sorry.
But I yeah, I was so messed up, man. I was like, okay, so here's what you do. And I was doing it. And then I can't hear anybody, obviously. And I look over at the chat and they're like, we can't see your screen. And I'm like, I've been talking for like 2 minutes, and they didn't see anything I was doing. So yeah,
Oh, no one's there to help, huh?
it was somewhat
I'm
of a
sorry I left
disaster.
you hanging.
No, you're good, man. I had some people that reached out and said next time you do one of those, I would love to help out. So I'll always have help now. But today it's just going to be you. I'll be here, and we'll get it kicked off. You just tell me when you're ready for your screen there.
All right. Well, you can go ahead and share the screen. I'm okay with that. So, guys, it's going to be a shorter one here today. I hope everyone is doing well. And as I said, I've been kind of in and out the last few weeks, but want to get back on track here with you guys and, get moving forward. So, the first couple things I'm going to read, there's nothing really to show. We'll cover the enhancements and then we'll cover the bug fixes in the update we released last week. Hi, Joel. Are you coming back?
It
Oh,
kicked
kick
me
you.
off like it did you the other day. Remember, you thought I kicked you off, and it didn't. I didn't kick you off. It just
It
made me leave. So
said, see ya.
yeah.
Um, so the first thing we're going to start with is enhancements. So a lot of these, aren't huge game changers. They're little tweaks that are going to just help make your life easier. So one thing we have done now is your online payment types. I know a lot of you use Sezzle on your website. So as far as Sezzle being made as a payment on CoreForce, when that comes back into coreSTORE now, you're going to see this as a online payment method of Sezzle instead of just online payment to help you differentiate between, your regular credit card sales and what's coming through with financing from Sezzle. Um, some of you may have seen the new customer search too. So there's still some tweaks going in on that, but now on the customer search, it's supposed to be more reactive to you. So Oh, I guess I have to be in the right field, guys. Sorry, that's the barcode field. But now you can search by partial searches to find it. Phone number. It doesn't have to be exact. So there's going to be some changes there. If you guys notice anything wonky with the search, let us know. We're trying to tweak that and just make it easier for you guys to use. Um, Next thing on the list, we have the add e-commerce transactions filter to top selling item reports. So previously, under our top selling items here. Let me go ahead and find that. We never had an option for e-commerce transactions. Now, like much of our other sales reports, you're seeing include, exclude, and only e-commerce. So now you can easily identify, hey, these are my top selling products on my online store compared to what sells and moves the quickest in store. That's always good to know. Mainly because we all live in different areas of the country. If I go down to Central Range here, I can tell you, shotguns are going to be the biggest seller, mainly because our deer season is shotgun. There's no high-powered rifle hunting. Whereas online, you could be selling a ton of Glocks or a ton of SIGs. It's just a nice little filter so you can see what's moving on both sides. The next thing we have here, um, the historical inventory value report. Not sure if any of you have used this report before. What this does is it goes ahead and looks at a snapshot in time. If I can find inventory and click on the right spot. You have the historical inventory value report. One thing that we did not do, so you can go ahead and you can run this for a day. So this is going to say, all right, this is your inventory, your historical value of inventory as of this day inside of coreSTORE. So if I ran it for May 14th and you run the report, there was never an option to see what day this was actually run for. So we just made a little quality of life adjustment here so you can see the date the report was run right at the top of the screen. So this is as of 5/14, or when you print it, you will also get that listed right on the report. Needed to throw that on there so you guys could easily tell what date this was run on, especially if you're saving these into a folder for your accountant. You want to be able to easily find and pull up that report. So that's one thing that I want to hit on too real quick is, tax season, year end, that kind of stuff. You want to make sure that you're running your reports for your accountant at that time. So, if they have to go back, hey, what was your inventory at the end of the year? You easily have that accessible. Now, you can go back in and run this report. That's fine. I'm always just one who likes to be prepared. We know data can change over time if someone goes back in and deletes some product out or deletes, some sales out. You still want to be able to have that information as of, the specified date for your accountant. Let's see. Next, so a lot of people asked for this. You can now, under company settings, and then if you look under payment types, there's now an option to go ahead and, it's called default payment type. There's now an option for none. So previously you were told to assign a payment type. A lot of people would put cash or credit card, whatever the most often paid type is in your store. Now you can go ahead and notate none. And this is going to force your employee to actually pick the payment method so they inadvertently don't push through a sale as cash or as credit card, etc. It's just going to force them to select the payment type right away. Now, this is brand new. So not sure how it all works yet. I should have did a little more digging on this, but we have now added an offline mode for you guys. This is simply going to be used for basic transactions. Now, you can turn this on. It will allow you, if you lose internet connection, to still continue sales. However, I want to be very clear, background checks, etc., will have to be done manually. You will have to call that in. You'll have to do your paper forms if you're not online, because obviously we do not have connection to the NICS system or your state system at that point. But this is there and available for you. Maybe you go to a gun show and there's no internet connection or whatnot. What this is going to do is it's going to allow you to process sales. When you come back online, it's going to sync that with the database. I do want to preference, this is a new feature. Don't use it unless unless you have to. And like I said, basic sales, basic transactions. That's the goal, to just keep the line moving in case your internet goes down. Improved customer matching logic for CoreForce order imports. What this means is Previously, when we were importing CoreForce orders, we were looking for a contact ID. We were looking for a name for the customer. Now it's also going to look at, address information, phone number. So we just improved logic there to find an existing customer if there's a match by, like I said, address, phone number, name in the system, and not duplicate customers. Um, will the credit card terminal work in offline mode, Cameron? Um, that it's not going to, because the credit card still needs to have access to the internet. The way I could see that working is maybe you have cell signal. You could go ahead and run something through Venmo or another solution. As far as I know, with um, the network connections, you're going to have internet for the terminal to work. No problem, Cameron. Um, here is another well, nothing really to show, but I'll tell you about it here. So our tax reports, you guys are going to see your tax summary and your tax by payments. They have been tweaked. We've improved the layout, the calculations, and the filters on the report. We've also enhanced, just how tax are filtered based on your payment methods. There were some calculation errors and missing a certain uh, why can't I think of what it's called? A transaction type. So we've made some enhancements there. So please, take a look at your tax reports daily. Let us know if you're still encountering any issues. Um, that's obviously been a big thing, and it's been a hard thing to tackle and pin down because everyone's using the system differently. There's different ways to commit inventory. There's different ways to deduct it. Obviously, your sales transactions, we just want to make sure your reporting is right for you and your tax authority. You'll also notice on the tax here, tax by payment received. Let me just
Wait,
run.
do you want the screen shown?
Oh, yeah, go ahead and throw it up. I'm just going to show this here. We have made the change here at the top of the report. So total sales tax, total sales with taxes included. This was causing a headache for people because it just said total taxable sales, and people were paying their taxes based off of this amount when it already included the tax in it. So now you'll easily know this includes the tax. So you're going to take this amount minus your total tax, and that's going to give you the amount you should be paying in for your taxes. So right there on the screen for you now, it should be easier to see and, hey, identify any problems. We do not want you paying tax on top of tax, guys. Um, Myron had a question with the payment type selected as none. What would we choose and cash collectively? Oh, that really easy. I'll show you that here real quick. So let's go in and do a sale with the payment type as, none. If I go in and I say, all right, they're going to give me $200. Oh, got to be in the right field, Josh. All right, 200. Hmm. All right, maybe it's just my clicking abilities. So $200, and they're going to pay that in cash. I just hit add payment. So now there's cash, and okay, now the rest is going to go credit card. I just hit credit card and go ahead and complete that sale and process it. So even if you had a default payment method set up, you can still click a different payment method. You could hit the X and clear that, especially if they're going to split payment. That operation is not going to change for you guys. Still go ahead, you notate, $200 in cash, and then however you're going to do credit card. Pretty straightforward for you guys.
Hey, Caleb, I see you say you use a hotspot hooked up to your router for backup internet. Card terminals work and registers work. Can you just share a link to whatever hotspot you use? Because I'd like, if anybody else wants to try that, that would be some good knowledge. So if you could just include a link to that.
Excellent. Yeah, no, that's awesome. I've been having internet connection issues down at our physical office here, and I've been doing the same with my cell phone, turning on the mobile hotspot, connecting the computer to it. Keep in mind on something like that with your little terminals, your Wi-Fi ones, that's going to work fine. If you're using your 8500s that run with the TCP/IP line, that Ethernet line, you're going to have to obviously have um, what's it called, a hub, something for it to connect to. It still needs to be able to get internet. So um, there he goes, the ATT MIFI. All right. Next thing, don't really need to show this one, but in coreSTORE now, in HTML source, you can now allow color in inventory descriptions. So while you're setting up your products for your web description to go up online, you can now use the HTML hex codes to notate the text color, and that will carry over to CoreForce for you guys. Oh, this one I do want to show. This is a cool new little feature. So in inventory, under items, we now have what we call the multi-select feature here. So if I go ahead and come up to the multi-select and say I'm going to do ammo, I'm going to do a Glock, I'm going to do, I don't know, do we have a helmet? Do we have a target? All right, a target. So this is a nice little multi-select feature where you don't have to go through and check the products, the individual boxes. I hit OK here. It's going to go ahead and select those 3 items that I searched there. And from here, I can go ahead and update the items, edit it. It's going to be a great little tool for you to select, a handful of individual products that you want to edit that maybe they don't fall under the same category. Maybe, they're getting you want these to go onto e-commerce. Are you going to change the type? So just a nice little way to multi-select items without having to scroll through 10,000 products and check the ones individually. So that's it for the enhancements. As far as the bugs, I have a handful of them to read to you guys here. So there was a issue where the complete sale button would not be available on the point of sale screen when change due was treated as an amount due. I think we've all run into that issue before. Unfortunately, it would show, hey, there's an amount due of -577 when it's actually a change due. You're supposed to be giving that back. That issue's been corrected. Invoice numbers were also not showing on email receipts. That's been corrected for you. I already talked about the tax calculation. We have made some changes and fixes there. So like I said, I want you guys to take a look at those reports. Let us know if, after you're, and personally, guys, the easiest way to find an issue with any kind of report is to run that after a day's business, where you have all the transactions in front of you. We all know it feels like a mountain when you're trying to find an issue. If you wait 6 months, wait a year, and then you're like, oh, my taxes seem to be off. Run those every day. Take a look at the report. Run it on, weekly. Run it monthly. Just make sure everything is copacetic. It's all jiving. So I really want to put that on you guys and just, hey, if you run into anything, please let us know.
Hey, real quick, I just wanted to jump in here because you're flying, and I just wanted to make everyone aware of our CoreClear $10,000 challenge. If you're not currently using CoreClear, and I'll be honest with you, okay, I accidentally threw this up. I'm just going with it now. Okay. But if you're not currently using CoreClear, if you send us a statement from your current merchant services provider over from the last 3 months or so, if we can't beat those rates, you are going to walk away with 10 grand. And I will include the link where you can fill that form out and upload your statement in the chat. And just wanted to throw that out there. I think this is a really awesome
that's
thing.
huge.
It
Am
is
I eligible?
Huge. I thought about opening a business.
I'm going to start a business too, and I'm going to find the worst. Well, I guess I got to find the best way.
The best. But I think we're going to end up, if we're out there looking for the best, we're going to end up with CoreClear. So again, this is not where we make our money. So we can actually help you more than a lot of merchant services providers out there. And let us just do that. We have done a ton of transactions through CoreClear. I don't know. It's in the billions, right?
Oh, definitely. I
mean, I know it's over $1 billion has been run through this. And again, just it's really, really solid. So I would take advantage of this. Look for the link in the chat, and with that, I'm going to remove this, Oki, and you can continue.
Well, and on that note too, from my time at the competing company, they always were, hey, if we can't, we can beat anyone's rates. We can beat anyone's rates. And that wasn't true. Like I seen so many people get turned away. No, 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 we can't beat that. Since I've been at Coreware, I have yet to see a rate we haven't beat. So definitely if that's something that's slowly eating at your pockets, behind the scenes, we know people get nickel and dime with those transaction fees. And whatever the processing fee is behind the scenes. So yeah, reach out to the sales team and let's get you
Yeah,
guys using
and,
something.
and I do want to just I do want to Brandon.
Oh,
I don't know who that is, but it may be like a initial signing on thing. And again, I don't know. I just know that if you're a current user of CoreClear, you're already getting our best rates. If you're someone else that's using another merchant services provider, we're going to beat those rates. That's all I know. If you want to include any other uploaded files in the link that I'm going to provide, feel free, and our people will look into that as well.
and Joe, real quick, you said you're at the airport. I just pasted the change log in there so you can review that too. It will have the CoreForce one was released on Friday, and then the coreSTORE one was on Thursday. So the CoreForce one will be the one at the top of the list, but you'll see the updates from the last 2 weeks. All right. So where were we here? We had a consignment payout correction that got fixed. So there was a error in consignment payout values that was it it had to do with specific transaction types, and basically we've corrected the payout percentage, so you shouldn't see any issues with that. Um, there also was an issue that I seen pop up for a couple customers where clients were not appearing in your customer list, even though they were permitted at those locations. So if you had multiple locations, say you had, one in Ohio, one in Kentucky, um, and someone came in from the Ohio store in Kentucky, you couldn't see them. That has been corrected. So there was a restricted customers were hidden from permitted locations. That has been resolved. So now, if they're permitted at both locations, you will see your clients there. Um, Inventory detail by category report now show. Let's see, disposed serial. Yeah, so it had disposed serial number. I'm sorry, I'm talking too fast, guys. The inventory detail by category report was showing disposed serial numbers. That has been corrected. Now there should be no disposed serial numbers on the inventory by category report. Obviously, we do not want to show you inventory in stock when it's not there. Um, and one other thing we did to kind of make it less hectic in your inventory log screen. So if you go into, and you can show this one, Joel. So if you go into inventory items, and we'll pull up a product here. Under the inventory, we keep a log of everything that happens, whether you receive the item, you sell it. Well, it wasn't really an issue, but every time you would suspend and unsuspend a sale, it was going ahead and making an entry showing the item coming back in, the item going back out, still keeping the inventory quantities correct, but it was noisy. We have removed that, so and there's not going to be any unnecessary log entries here on this screen. Simply, if you're selling the product or if you're receiving the product, changing quantities manually, you will see that there, but you're not going to see it every time you suspend and unsuspend a sale now. Keep that clean, make it easier to track down issues. And then we had one hot fix go out. There was on the detailed commission report, it wasn't showing details on the PDF export. That has now been corrected. Really, that's all I have for the update notes, guys. Pretty short one, like I said. A few new enhancements. Really, we're focusing on a lot of the critical bug fixes, like the tax report, that kind of stuff that's been plaguing us for a while. And going forward, much like with CoreForce, you know, the critical issues, the urgent issues are going to be addressed. We want to focus on that more than more than pushing out new enhancements, new features. We get everyone loves the new features, but at the same time, we have to take care of the core product first before we introduce. And I don't even want to use the word headaches, but before we introduce something else that could potentially cause undocumented features or bugs. So that's kind of where we're focusing right now.
Hey, Myron, can you tell me what that means? Josh, do you know what that means?
I need a
Sidebar.
sidebar, sir. He wants to talk to you off air.
I'm 50.
Got you.
Myron, just shoot me I may have your details, but if I've ever sent you an email, that my phone number's down there below. If you could just shoot me a text, and then I'll call you when we're freed up here. Let's
And
see.
I'm looking.
Yeah, you're looking as well, huh?
Any update on a time frame for the assemblies module search showing quantities of available items? I see what you're saying. Let me look. I know I put something in for that.
Do you want to show the screen? What do
It's
you need the
not.
screen, man?
Yeah, nothing to show on it. I'm just gonna
Okay.
check the dev branch here real quick and see if there's any update on that. Let me take a peek. All right, so I did find this one on the assembly screen where you can edit the assembly. We do not show the inventory value that is available like we do with other inventory searches. Okay, so that is, Brandon, that is in our backlog. I will see what we're going to do with that. Like I said, that is a enhancement. It's a nicety for us. It would be awesome. We do need it, but some other issues have taken priority over that. But I'll see if we can get this one moving along because I don't think that should be and I'm not a developer. I say this all the time. I think I did it to Joel last week where I'm like, this shouldn't be hard, but it turned out to be yeah, more work than I thought. Actually,
Yeah.
it was with Colt. It was with Colt and on a website change. All right, let's see. I might have missed that. I had to step away for a minute. Phantom inventory is a concern. Yeah. Okay. So on that, Roland, for phantom inventory, so one thing I really want to be clear on, there's a couple things you can do. And if this is with serial numbers, there was phantom inventory showing on the inventory count by category report. That has been corrected. One thing that I've noticed, and not a lot of people know, is you have your inventory, and underneath your inventory, there is a serial tab. Now, sometimes these can get stuck in here and it doesn't add up correctly. They show in stock. What you can do to rectify this issue is if your bound book is correct, which it should be, because every time you sell an item, it's disposing it. Every time you bring it in, it's acquiring it. If you go under FFL and then under bound book.
Do you want to show this?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Under FFL and then bound book, the 3-dot menu over here, there is a reconcile serial numbers to inventory. That's one thing. What this will do is it'll reconcile your serial numbers and create them in the inventory record that it's assigned to. However, update missing information. This one is important. If you go ahead and click on this, update bound book from items, update items from bound book. So if your bound book is correct, I can go ahead and say update items from bound book, and I can say on hand. And what this is going to do, any item that is on hand in your bound book, it's going to find that corresponding inventory record and make sure that quantity is updated. So if it's not there, it gets created. If it has been sold, it gets marked sold to get your on-hand quantity correct for your serial numbers. How do you get your inventory to be the color blue for in stock and red for not in stock? Oh, Phil, let me see. I think it's called out of. I know there's one. What is it called? Obviously, I have it on. Low. right here, highlight low inventory items in items module. If that's checked, anything that's a low inventory for you, Phil, is going to be marked in that red color for you. Roland, how often should that be run? Honestly, I don't have a preference for that. I say run it if you notice an issue. It's probably going to correct that. It's something that you could run routinely. Maybe you want to run it every week. Maybe you want to run it every month. That's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. It's simply just looking at your bound book records. So there's really no, hey, do this every day, do this every week. It's really up to you guys. I see that happen occasionally, but it's not anything where I would say you'd have to run it every night. Let's see, Chris, what's the best practice for fixing or allowing a coreSTORE online payment for a customer when their billing address is different from their address in the system? What's the best practice for fixing or allowing a coreSTORE online payment for a customer? Oh, so, and maybe I hope I'm reading this right, Chris. Are you talking about sending out the payment link inside a coreSTORE to them for them to pay, because their address does have to match, otherwise the card is going to fail when they go to run that payment, and that's what I'm guessing you're talking about, that their address in coreSTORE is different. So when you send that online payment link from coreSTORE, it's hard for, or they can't make the payment. Phil, your question, will reconcile from bound book mess with transfers and gunsmith firearms that aren't actually in inventory? The answer is no. So, and a lot of you guys might not know this, just to kind of show you. So when you, oh, where's it at? Let's see. So when it's a system item. So when you guys do a transfer, our gunsmithing comes in as a service, it creates a system item. So it's not really a product inside of coreSTORE. It's a system product. So this firearm transfer, if I go in here and look under serial numbers, anything that's in transfer comes under firearm transfer. Same thing with service. So it's not going to go in, if you receive this G19 on a transfer, it's not going to add that G19 to your inventory for your regular G19 model. It's going to add it to this transfer SKU. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so Chris, on that one, really right now, the best practice is you want to make their address match on the coreSTORE account and send that over. What I think we could probably do on that, Chris, is maybe we could have an option for a billing address and a shipping address. I'd have to look into that for us and see. But right now, the best way to make that work is, I mean, you have to update the address. I'm not sure if the online payment link has a spot for them to put in their billing address. I'll have to run through that. It's been a while since I looked at that screen. And Phil, I hope that answered your question on the reconcile part. Is there any other questions? And why you think I'm just gonna grab my water real quick.
Actually. Oh, I guess we can just walk away.
Mm-mm.
Do whatever you want, man.
I just rolled the foot. Rolled the foot. Didn't even walk.
Dude, what are you doing, man?
Excellent, Phil. Oh, hey. Isn't there is there a Sports South show, dealer show coming up? What's that one?
Yeah, there's a Sports South dealer show. It's going to be a pretty big deal. I think they're everybody out there will get invitations, I guess. I think it's by invitation only. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But
yeah, I didn't know. I just, I wanted to tell you guys I'll see you there. Hopefully.
Yeah. So Josh will be around here. So that would be cool if you're at this show. If not, we'll see you at the Range and Retailer show in West Palm in July, right?
Yep, in July.
When it's nice and cool there.
At least it'll rain, because it rains every day. But
that's some miserable weather, man.
Absolutely. Oh.
Philip's got a question about tax.
Oh no, Phil, I'm not a good tax guy. But go ahead and ask. Go ahead and ask.
Let's see. You read everybody else's, right?
Yep.
Are you sure?
If I missed one, I'm sure you'll tell me about it.
I had to step away and get my water too. Yeah, it's going pretty quick today.
Oh yeah.
It's probably good since we got all this work we need to be doing. Go on and start making excuses, Okie. I got you started there. All
Yeah.
this work we need to be doing. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Oh, sorry. I was saying you had to Phil. So he sees differences in his daily reports for taxes sometimes. And that's kind of what I was hitting on, Phil, is if you're seeing differences, we need to isolate what kind of transaction it was and what steps were taken with that transaction. So if it's maybe you have a sale, you suspend it. Well, the customer comes back, or a layaway, the customer comes back in later and you add a service item or another inventory item to it, and now for some reason your tax is off by 30 cents. What we would need from you is we would need to know the transaction line, so whatever the sales invoice is, and we'd have to have our support team take a look at that and just walk through the same process. I don't want, I want them to be able to investigate that issue and us actually reproduce it to get that to development, because if it is something as, hey, I'm just adding, this happens every time I add another product to a layaway that's already been started, or this happens when I undo or return a payment method and then add a new payment method. um, so whatever you run in for, whenever you run into issues with taxes or on a specific transaction, please reach out to the support text, give them the sales ID and your process for doing that sale, that layaway, that service. It could be something as simple as the product is marked tax exempt, or it could actually be a calculation or a process issue that we need to fix. And Roland, you will get different tax values depending on which report is run. So one is by your payments received, and one is by the actual tax for the whole sale. So one's just looking at just the payments you brought in, and one's looking at the big picture. The sale might not even be completed, but it's tax. It's the tax that you're going to gain based off of that. So that's one thing to keep in mind. If you guys are using the tax reporting for the purpose of paying your taxes, obviously, I recommend the tax by payments, because that is the monetary value you have taken in on that day. Whereas, you could start a layaway in December, it doesn't get completed until January. Um, and then that's when it's hitting the other tax report. So keep that in mind.
Good stuff. Man, if this is it, I'm not joking. Colt's gonna be so angry.
You're welcome. I like to make Colt angry. That's what you get, Colt, for driving to the beach or wherever you're going today.
Where is he going? Do you know?
He's going on site to a customer in Louisiana somewhere. I don't even know where.
Really?
So, yep.
Cool.
All right. Any other questions out there, guys, gals, Joels?
Any questions whatsoever?
Oh, that I do not know, Mark, and I'd have to look. I don't believe there's a way, because when you add an add-on product to the item, you're simply just yeah. There's not a way to do an image there. Um, are you looking for something more like related products, or are okay? He's in Baton Rouge. There you go. Everyone knows where Colt is except us.
Right. Thanks, Colt.
Mark, that would be a great suggestion too, to throw on the feedback board if that's something you want. And I'm guessing you'd want a little picture to pop up where you're checking your add-ons on CoreForce. I think that would be a good idea.
Awesome. Anything else? Do you have anything else to share, Okie?
As of right now, I do not. I'm just playing catch up, guys. I know a lot of you have emailed me too. I'm slowly working through those. I had about 300 emails to go through when I got in this morning, so I will get back to you. Um, but yeah, as far as what we have coming up, we'll do the Core Force live update next week. Um, I know might throw some coreSTORE stuff in there. Just I don't know how long Colts will be. That way we'll just have some information on the new update right away instead of you guys waiting a week to get that information. So if we push one out next week, I'll talk about any new enhancements too. As far as that, right now there's not any huge projects that we can currently talk about that are coming. But there are some exciting things in the pipeline here coming up. So all right. Any other questions? I'll have Joel do his auctioneer voice going once, going twice. Can you do
No,
auctioneer?
we're not
No.
going to do that.
Oh, you can't do it.
We're not going to do it. So what else do we have going?
Oh, mass consignments. Yes, yes. I did see that post. I think a way to do mass consignments would be very beneficial too. Because right now, yes, you have to go through do the one line at a time. I know in other programs that I've used, there is a way. It's to do a mass bulk import. One thing that we have to in those systems though, they randomly assigned item numbers. They weren't really tied to anything. It was a fictitious number made up for the consignment. Where we want to actually tie that to a real product. So we'll have to think of how best to implement that for us.
Yeah.
Mhm. I I'm not sure what that a tag fee kind of like we do with inventory tags and customer tags, Caleb. Maybe you can drop that into okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Using the purchase order as a way to go ahead and I got you and use that to receive a mass amount of items. Okay. Yeah, maybe it could just be a little filter where instead of doing a receiving, we're doing a consignment receiving or something like that. Okay. And I'm just going to take a look while we're waiting just at some of these here to see if there's anything big that will be in the update next week. Any new enhancements? So it looks like next week we are going to be putting out a component report and pick list for assembly builds. So that'll be something for you folks using assemblies. There will be a report for a pick list now to go gather those components. Um, let's see. There's a couple packing slip changes where we'll show the PO number. We also, and this might be something that I did not hit on last time. I'm not sure. Um, oh yeah, there's going to be a option when you print your packing slips now in the fulfillment screen to where you will print only items not fulfilled instead of printing everything. Even if you've already picked this item and shipped it, you're going to have the option to either print the complete packing slip or print the items that still need to be picked. Um, on customer contact import, is there a way for the system to truly check for duplicates? Really, that's going to go based off of names and phone number. Roland, you're probably going to want to export that to Excel and maybe use Excel to kind of look for duplicates. Um, I mean, we do, a basic duplicate check, but if the name is spelt in, differently, the phone number is wrong, etc., off by a digit, it's not going to notify that as a duplicate.
Hey, Myron, I responded to your email. I don't know why you don't see it, but it was sent. Um, I don't know when it was sent, but it was sent a few weeks ago. We sent a lot of them, Myron, and that's probably why you haven't heard us talk about it. And the majority of them went unopened, so it's like all that all that money was for nothing. So
All right.
no, no, okay, no.
I was reading Roland's question. I was going to say on that, Roland, if that might be something, if you could reach out to our chat and ask for Zach. He does all of our data conversions, so he might be able to assist on that and show you if there is a better way. Um, as far as Caleb says, our shows when we add something like a similar contact exists. Yes, that does happen when you add the customer inside the system. What Roland's looking to do is import a file, and I think he's right on that. It's not going to do a real duplicate check. Whereas if I try to add a customer and I use the same phone number or the same email address, it's going to tell me there's a duplicate customer. Um, Yeah, yep, Caleb, that's a great idea. Obviously scanning a driver's license to add your client in the system is probably the best way to do that, mainly because A, you're getting all the pertinent data and correct data right from the government into the system on the customer. So you're getting, the name, address, driver's license information. Um, and that's never going to be duplicated. It's always going to be spelt the same. It's always going to, that driver's license number is specific to that customer. So I think that's the best way personally to add clients. But I do know there are pushback to people, collecting information, especially if they're not purchasing a firearm. Yep, Roland, that's pretty common. You have other marketing information or other marketing sites or lists that you want to import into coreSTORE. Um, let's see.
Tell me if you want to share the screen there. Okay.
Nope, I am all right on that. Let's see. I'm just seeing if there's anything else in these update notes here for next week that I can talk about, but it looks like going to be more just bug fixes, a couple enhancements. Um, we do have some buyer's assist modifications coming through development too. Um, not sure. Oh, and anyone using our channels features too, we are going to have so we have some hot fixes coming out for that or that are planned for the next release here on Tuesday. Um, there were some issues with using the mass update channel pricing and some image issues. It looks like those are going to be corrected in the upcoming update also. So if you've been experiencing any issues with channels such as BigCommerce or WooCommerce, please be patient. We'll have some fixes rolling out next week for that. A fill in from sales report would be nice, like items sold in the past 7 days or so. I've tried the report, but it pulls outside data and hasn't been correct. A fill in from sales report. I'm not, Caleb, could you explain that a little more to me? Oh, like a restock report. I think we have a purchasing report. Let's see here.
You want to share your screen?
Let me find it here
Okay.
real quick, but I believe we have a, is it reorder? All right, let me find that one for you. For some reason, my brain is blanking right now. I'm pretty sure we have a reorder report though. Oh, it's called low inventory. So if you run, um, you can go ahead and show my screen here. All right. If we go to, I'll just type in low inventory reports, we have the low inventory report. So you can do items with the reorder level or show items with less than a zero quantity. If I go ahead and just run this report, it's going to, oh, let me scroll all the way down here. Should have your values here for you. So anything you'll see, all these are zero for me, are they're negative. So you should be able to run that report. Now, if you're using, and I highly recommend this, guys, on your inventory items, you have the option for your reorder. Oh, I guess it doesn't matter if I use this one for your, it does matter. Reorder points here. Let me just find, oh, I'm still in system items. Product here. Oh, you have your reorder level and replenish level. So I would highly recommend setting these up. So your reorder level, what this is, this triggers that this to go into the buyer's assist. So when, let's say I have 5 here. So when my product hits 5 or below, it triggers that to be reordered. So you'll see that on your low inventory report if you're running it by reorder level, and your replenish level is what you're going to order up to. So I like to think of this as your minimum amount you want to have on hand and your maximum amount you want to have on hand for a specified time period. So if you establish those, when you run your, your buyer's assist under purchasing, it'll go ahead and use those reorder points to pull that in. Or as we were just talking, if you take a look at low inventory, you can go ahead and only look at the items with the reorder level too. And then you can do in stock or out of stock. Generate purchase orders from sales, but it creates a ton of purchase order has not been correct. Okay, based off of date ranges. Yeah, so Caleb, that's one thing too. As we move more towards you know, our next gen platform, I know we've talked about this, but having the ability to have an AI assistant, look at your sales trends based off of the time period and say, okay, during the spring, your minimum amount of this item should be this, your maximum should be that. Um, just looking at your sales history and your trends over the last few years, ultimately that's where we want to get to. Martha, low inventory with reorder quantities does not work correctly. The report will show 0. When I go into the inventory tag, it shows that I have some in stock. Martha, could you send over a couple examples of that for us to our support team so they can take a look? It might just be a filter setting that needs to be fixed on the report then. Yep, Caleb. We had I had the same thing at AIM. It was something similar. It was established reset min and max, and what that would do is you'd put 30 days in for your minimum, 60 days in for your maximum, and then it would look at the last 180 days of sales history or 360, whatever you specified, and it would look at how often you received and sold the item to help give you a calculation based off of what you should hold. So that is something that we truly need. I mean, right now it's all manual. You're running your reports, but that's where Joel's AI series comes in handy. He can help you take those reports, feed them into the bot, and they could say, okay, this is what you need to establish for your min and max on these products. Yeah, Martha, you could send that over to me. And KLBS, that would be lovely. It would be very lovely. Anything that we can do to have a system or AI or anything do the work for us, uh, it saves us time during the day. You don't need to sit there crunching numbers when, we have a calculator built right into the computer already.
Awesome.
So, Roland, that is something that I do want to talk about. I do think there's a better way for us to handle these instances. We are sticking with the chat system. However, um, I've been tossing around the idea of using that feedback platform um, as a possible place to track tickets. I know when you submit a bug report, we link that to feedback so you guys can follow that. I've been toying around with the idea of, hey, if a chat comes in and it doesn't get closed and resolved right away, we need to move this into feedback so the customer can see that we're still working on it. They can respond, give us more information. That's what I'm thinking we should do. It has been, a kind of a sore subject for me, I guess, because I'm under the assumption that when you come into chat, there's two different things that can happen. You resolve the chat, well, three. You resolve it. It was a process issue. You trained the customer on how to do it correctly, or there's a legitimate issue and it needs to be escalated. There really shouldn't be anything hanging in limbo, and that's where we got to get better. Our techs, myself, just us as a company, we have to be able to um, really identify, now, is this a bug? Is this a problem right away so we can get that moved over? Or is this a training issue or a process issue so we can show you how to correctly do it? I hate hearing that you're waiting, long periods of time for a response. And yes, we do want, if it's something, especially something that's simple, we want to get you taken care of as fast as possible. There have been some internal changes. We are uh, focusing on cleaning those issues up.
And Cameron's comment goes along the same lines. That stuff's being addressed,
Yeah.
like
Yep. Cameron.
actively. You guys don't know if you could see Oki's knuckles; they're bloody.
See them? They actually are, but that's poison ivy, guys. That's poison ivy. I wasn't beating up anyone. Oh. Well, it was morel season here the last couple of weeks. So,
It was what?
morel season, mushroom season. So
I've never heard of that.
you've never heard of morels. That's one of my dad's favorite things to do. So I spent a lot of time in the woods a couple weekends ago, and yeah, either rolled around in poison ivy or just decided to pick the wrong batch of mushrooms, I think. So
So these mushrooms, they're edible or
yep. Yeah,
okay. So they're not the special mushrooms.
no, and actually, like like if you take them to Chicago or one of the bigger cities, they'll pay like 80 to $100 a pound for them.
Wow.
One year, my dad and I found 60 pounds or something like that. We found just a ton, but uh,
That must be good eating, man.
I don't even eat them. I don't like
Really?
mushrooms. Nope, I don't like any kind of mushroom. It was just a thing that, yeah, I just would go out with dad, and that was our thing.
Well, congratulations on the poison ivy or whatever. Way to go.
Are you guys going back to feature videos on YouTube? I try to reference the ones that are out there, but most of them are outdated and the process is no longer valid. So Roland, we've I mean, that would be, we could probably do that when we create little snidbit videos, but we've been putting everything on CoreU recently. Um, an average selling price within Core users would be nice. Average selling price, that way trades, quick reference, our gun broker selling price. Caleb, I'm guessing you're meaning showing the average selling price from all coreSTORE users on a specific firearm. And Chris, is there a way I can add a barrel length for the firearm category? I can only add that in the bound book and not under the item. You want to throw up my screen here real quick?
Yep.
All right. So what you can do on that one, Chris, is under inventory, you can go ahead and create, well, hold on, let me read this. Firearm category, I landed the bound book. Let me just look here. Yeah, because we got the caliber. So what you could do, you could use an attribute if you wanted to. You could go in and set up an attribute and manage the values. You see I have one here called barrel. If I look under the manage values, it shows me 24 and 18 and a half. So you could go in and create one for anything, you know, caliber, action, barrel, etc. And that's going to allow you to establish a barrel length on that item. So you could do it that way. Another way that I've seen some customers do that is using inventory tags. You could do it that way also. So if you want to create an inventory tag and call it, you know, 12-inch barrel, whatever, you know, whatever you want to call it, you could do that and tag your products too. Okay, I see what you're saying, Caleb. Like Glock 22 average selling price is 200 while you're buying. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if we've talked about that before. You know, a lot of people don't like you taking their data and displaying it elsewhere. And obviously, we wouldn't be displaying someone's personal data elsewhere, but it would be a cumulative of everyone's data and the average selling price for it. So, I mean, that's something we can discuss. I'm not sure if there's plans on that. Phil, yeah, there are still some videos on CoreU that are older, but like the getting started and the new ones with the splash screens and or the splash graphics and stuff, those should be recently updated. No, Chris, that does not add that to the bound book. For the enter order module in CoreForce, it won't let me submit an order. Hey, Mark, that one I would refer to I would defer to Colt on that, and since he's not here, I'm really not sure. Could I have you just drop that in chat, and I'll have Josh Van Gordon or Ryan take a look at it for me? Kenneth, we have 1,500 guns in stock during PO and receiving many lines of data pop up for the item you're entering. Glock 19 stock on order, margin, etc. Can I add a quick edit line item to the gun so I can tell the system where it is in the back room? Does that make sense? So I'm guessing you mean when we're in, if you want to throw up my screen here.
Yep.
PO and receiving. I'm guessing you mean something right here where you can quick edit it. Now, what you could do is on the product, I believe there is a, I thought there was a bin number. You should be able to assign a bin number for that. So there is a, let's see here, or maybe it's a called locator. Okay, yeah, so under your location here, you can go ahead and add a bin number to that product if you want to. So if I did 23, oh, okay, so you have to create the bin number at the location first. But this will show here, it's not going to be editable though, it's going to be per item basis. You also could look into the warehousing system if you wanted to do that. I know that's an additional add-on, but that would be one way I could see doing it, just creating a bin number itself at the item level under that location. Or you could actually use the warehousing module to pick and put away. Another option could be, once again, you could use an inventory tag if you want to do that too. But once again, you know, you're going to have to apply that to every single item. All right. Mark, I think you need to, okay. Roland, since we're also talking about CoreForce, I showed a customer bug. They said they would fix it. It's not been addressed. When entering an order manually, the system does not use the customer address in the system. It makes you go back and manually add an address. All right, Roland, if that is the case, I would imagine that they put in a fix for development if that was happening, and that will be rolling out. You probably haven't heard back because they haven't got an update from the development team either. So I could take a look and see if, did they link you like a feedback link or anything, Roland? You know, they should be giving you a feedback link that'll have the development number and everything in there. Okay, I'll take a look for you and see if I can't find that. And if that is an issue, we'll make sure we get that put in here for you. I'm just gonna look manual order here. Manual order.
Oh, you're not sharing your screen, are you?
No.
Okay.
Address. All right, I'm not seeing anything quickly and easily here for my searches, Roland. So I will. I'll see if I can find your chat there and find that for you, and get with the tech that was working with you. Get that put in, okay?
All right. So it looks like we're in an hour and 10 minutes.
Went from 25 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes. Dang, guys, you guys
Way
are
to
awesome.
go, man. You did great. That's really great. All of you did great. That's awesome. We love the feedback. This stuff's really good. I wasn't as on my game as I usually am throwing the comments up there. I'm sorry about that. Halfway distracted. It's hard to pay attention to Oki.
Yeah, I jump. Squirrel.
Where?
Oh, I just jump all over the place.
I do too. Did you notice that we used a different song for you today, or was that your song? Yeah, it was.
I think
your
that was
song.
the first song we made. Maybe
it could be. Well, I don't know what this one is, but this is the one that will be closing us out, and I hope it's good. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it down a little bit because I don't know. Guys, don't forget. Do not forget about our Core Clear challenge. The link to upload your files, fill out all your information is in the chat. You've also got the feedback link in the chat. And with that, I think we're going to see you next week. We got a lot of webinars in the pipeline, so we'll tell you more about those next week. So with that, Oki, do you have anything else?
I do not. I just want to say thank you for everyone joining. As always, I appreciate your patience and your time. Time is very valuable. So we'll see you guys next week. And if you need anything, we'll talk to you then.
Thank you so much, guys. We do appreciate you, and we can't wait to see you in the next webinar. I'm sorry, live stream.
Web
Bye,
stream.
everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Power in your hands, coreSTORE. We take the stand. Update live, release the beast from coast to coast. It never ceased. Inventory locked, precision tight. Reports that hit like dynamite. Faster screens, tighter flow. We keep your business in control. Raise the volume, kill the noise. These updates are not a choice. Dominate, automate. This is how you operate.